for joining us today for What's Your Why Wednesday. I'm Laura Brandeo, and today I am joined by Jerri Britton. She is the broker owner of Volunteer Home Mortgage. Well, Jerri, number one, thank you for being with us. And most of us came into the industry by accident, but we stayed in the industry because it was tied to something personal and professional. And that's our why that continues to fuel all of us. So, Jerri, please share with us, what's your why?
Well, my number one why has to be the flexibility. I love the flexible schedule, even though I probably work 50 to 60 hours a week, but I'm the mother of a special needs son. So I can adjust my schedule. I can be home when I need to and take care of him. The flexibility, we've done a lot of doctor visits, therapy, hospitalizations, and I can still work and no one knows it.
Wow.
When I'm sitting in the hospital and with him. So I can, carry my laptop, and thank goodness for technology.
Wow, that's incredible, Jerri. I mean, as you're speaking, I'm kind of thinking about this, right? I'm picturing this because as mom and business owner, right? We are, of course, when you're mom, you're taking care and you're worrying and you're thinking and you're analyzing everything. But yet we know dealing with the mortgage world, we have to be very focused. We have to be thinking about our guidelines. We have to be thinking about that approval and communicating. So how do you actually handle that balance of being able to do both of that, wearing the mom hat and the business owner?
It's hard. It's very hard. It's hard when, honestly, as a mom, I'm exhausted.
I bet.
And I don't think, I don't always have that hat on because I want to be a mom. I want to be a mom at 8, 9 o'clock at night. Or, when my son is sick, I just want to be a mom and I'm having to take care of him. And, I have to take my phone and leave it somewhere else. And it's hard because I feel guilty. And I think as a woman, we have that guilt, that natural guilt. And I think I really have to set those boundaries for myself.
Yeah. So let me ask you a question. Do you have a team that works with you, that helps you also?
I do. Yeah.
All right. And did you get there? Like, I'm picturing, I don't know, but did you not have a team and then over time you all right, tell me about that.
So I only got my team probably 5.5 years ago. So in kind of working it up, I'm still kind of controlling though, and I kind of like to do it my way, but I've learned to let go a little bit and to allow them to really help me because I need help. As you grow, you have to delegate and you have to welcome, help. So I need that help. And so, yeah, probably, but in the beginning, my first several years, I didn't have help. I mean, there was no vacation. Probably my first 15 years, my one true vacation, I had to go on a cruise. When you didn't have cell phone service, you could only check your email.
You almost had to force yourself, right? You almost had to go somewhere that you knew I can't connect.
I had 4 days. I had 4 days that I could not connect. Other than that, you're always working. You're sitting on the beach. You're working. I mean, literally sitting on the beach. You get up in the morning. You work. I mean, you work all the time.
So what's your recommendation? And I know this is a work in progress, right? None of us have no mom out there has figured it out. But if you were going to give a piece of advice to another, mom out there that's trying to figure out, is your recommendation those boundaries? Like, what would your recommendation be to kind of, number one, lower that mom guilt? I would never say completely eliminate it, because I think we're all fooling ourselves. It
Mhm.
will always be there. But what would your recommendation be to other women out there that are trying to wear both hats?
I think the boundaries, you got to set your boundaries. I mean, no one else works like we do in our industry. And a good voicemail, have a good voicemail. If they don't leave a voicemail, I'm not calling back missed calls.
That's a great recommendation. That's
Yeah.
a good tip. So what do you put on your voicemail message to get people to, like, do you leave a specific instruction? Like, what do you put on there?
Leave a voicemail. I tell, and you have your standard voicemail, just to, your call is very important. Please leave a voicemail, and maybe they'll text, maybe they won't. But if I've got 10 missed calls, I'm not going to go back and check 10 missed calls if you haven't left a voicemail.
Yep.
I won't do it. I mean, in today's world, especially with Laura, we have technology now. So, I mean, they can text, they can leave a voicemail, they can send an email.
Yep.
And, if they can't do that, then, I have to move on to those that do.
Yeah, I love that. I think that's a great recommendation there. And the boundaries, of course, are so important, because I think that's where you're almost on a path of burnout. If you're trying to kind of, keep the candle lit at both sides, it's just impossible, because there has to be some type of boundaries of special time where you're mom and you're not trying to wear both hats. All right, so going back to your why and why we do what we do, one of the things that I'm truly enjoying about hearing people's stories is hearing the special impact that we make on a daily basis. Now we have, every day we're changing people's lives. We're making a positive effect on the families we work with, but there's always those few special stories that we will always remember throughout our career. So Jerri, I would love for you to share with us, what's one of those special stories?
So probably my most rewarding loan I ever closed, and don't get me wrong, I've closed a lot and a lot are rewarding, but the most impact I had was I had a single woman come to me needing to refinance her house. We had to do cash out, and I started it, and it was for an adoption.
Oh, wow.
And 2 or 3 days later, she called me and she said, the baby's ready now. And so I had and I don't remember the time frame, because this was about 7 or 8 years ago. So I had to hurry. I mean, no pressure.
Oh.
Hurry and get the money out so she could complete the adoption payment.
Wow.
She couldn't have the baby until it was paid.
Oh my goodness.
And
you
that was
literally made life changing, right?
I made her a mom.
Yes, you made her a mom. Oh my God, I love that story.
That is my most rewarding, and I cry even think about it.
Well, that's why I encourage people to share that story, because we all have that story. I know I have a story from a very long time ago of my story. I've actually never said this, but my story was the early 2000s. And I remember this woman that she was a postal worker in New Jersey, and she lived in a very bad neighborhood. She lived in Newark, New Jersey by the projects. And she made a promise that when she had her son, she made a promise that she would not have him go to high school in that area, because she was very, very concerned that it was a high risk area. And she saved and saved and saved and cleaned up her credit and did everything. And she was able to purchase a home in the more western part of the state. And what I remember the most is how she came to the closing at our office. She had on a business suit with like a big flower, and she had her hair done, and she was arriving. It was the most monumental day of her life, because she came through for her child and made a difference in her entire family's future. That's the impact.
Yeah,
we have. That's it. And if we just every once in a while, we need to remember that. We need to remember that when we're having a crazy day or when some particular transaction might not have gone exactly how we planned, we can get through it. I love it. All right, Jerri, now I'm going to, oh, go ahead.
Oh, it's not that the other ones aren't important. The other ones
Of course.
they're up there too. They are up there. But that one of just, I'll never forget my adoption. And like, you'll never forget yours. I mean, it's life-changing.
Life-changing. Life-changing. All right, Jerri, now we're gonna leave with one really monumental, tough question here. I will tell you, I've had people cry on this question, so no pressure. All right. What do you want your legacy to be, Jerri?
My legacy as a loan officer?
Whatever way you interpret it, whatever you want.
Oh, wow. I want it to be that I was honest.
Oh, nice.
Honest. And you know, the honesty in our industry, it's not always what people want to hear, but yeah, to be honest.
I love that. I mean, I know that you are dedicated to making sure that you do the best for your clients and you take care of them and you have total transparency among everyone through that transaction. So that makes complete sense. That I definitely would say that when you think of honesty, you are absolutely aligned to that.
Thank you. I mean, we don't, you know, you don't get all the loans, but I want to at least know that I was honest about it.
Absolutely.
Honest.
Well, Jerri, thank you so much for joining us today, for sharing your why, for everything you do in our industry, and for the families that you serve. You are truly making a difference, and we wish you all the best.
Thank you.